Hey, what is going on, guys? Xpertfusion here, and in this video, we're going to be doing a really cool video that I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's reacting to hate comments on The Walking Dead Season 7 finale. So what I'm going to do is go on IMDb, and which is like kind of the place where movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff is talked about, and I'm going under the ratings, and this episode has been rated pretty low on the ratings, which is really surprising since this episode was incredible. So, you know, it's mainly because Season 7 has been getting all this hate, and people just decide to give it 1 ratings and 2 ratings and stuff like that, when it does not deserve that. You know, even if you didn't like the episode, it's fine. It does not deserve anything less than 5 stars. Nothing in The Walking Dead has ever produced deserves less than 5 stars, in my opinion. And I don't know. But we're going to be going through all the hate comments and kind of reading them out loud and giving a counter argument to them. A lot of them I can tell are just complete like trolls almost, because they're just really bad arguments. But some of them are actually valid points that I want to talk about and kind of give a counter argument to them. Just fun little video, and I might get triggered. Honestly, I might, but let's do this. So the first one here is a dude by the name of Adarsh Bahora. I don't know how to say that, but I don't care how you say that. And the dude has a Breaking Bad picture, which Breaking Bad is a fucking great television series, my second favorite TV show after The Walking Dead. And this is what he says. So, "Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. I watched this show again after quitting. Maybe it was a part of me who thought about giving it another chance. I used to love the show at once. I hate the show it's become. I did not expected much from this. This guy has terrible grammar, first of all. I mean, I don't really care too much about grammar, but I'm just saying, just to let you know. I did not expected much from this episode, but it was worse than you can imagine. Like thousands of bullets were shot. No one from Rick's team died. Not how convenient. Not even one walker showed up with all that noise. Even more convenient. And how did the tiger know who is the enemy and who is not? Letting a tiger loose in a battlefield to randomly attack anyone is not the best of ideas. The show has become so much predictable. Plot is too weak, and they want to show Negan as the evilest monster of TV history. At the same time, every person who tries to kill him, he spared everyone. Daryl, Carl, Rosita, Sasha, and again when he was going to kill Carl, finally Maggie and Carol appear out of nowhere, and Negan has his guard down in his truck, and he has his arms sticking out. Not one of those bullets of those 50 people shooting the truck didn't kill anyone, or didn't hit him. Bad writing. They are just compromising with quality so they can continue to make more money to continue the show. It was an average, mostly boring and forgettable episode. And finally, I want to thank the guy who wrote the review for the episode title stands with Ozymandias as one of the best TV episodes of all time, and he's sure high on crystal meth while writing this line. Now it's confirmed Heisenberg is still alive somewhere in the business. Vince Gilligan salutes to you, dude." So I agree. Ozymandias was a great episode, probably one of the best in TV history. Probably the best episode in Breaking Bad overall. But a lot of these points he made were weak arguments. They weren't even like valid, half of them. But I'll just go through each and every one of them, starting from the beginning. So he says he quit the show and came back to it. And he says because he wanted to give it another chance and such. And that's fine. You know, a lot of people do that. A lot of people quit shows and then go back to them later on. That's fine. And let's go through his arguments. So he says this episode was worse than you can imagine, which is bullshit. He says thousands of bullets were shot, which that's probably reasonable, and no one from Rick's team died. How convenient. That is bullshit. Tons of Alexandrians died. Of course, nobody major, no characters that we actually knew their name of, but a lot of side characters, not even side characters, just characters that were complete red shirts, they don't even have names, of Alexandria died. And a lot of TV shows and movies do that. Like, it would be stupid if they just killed off like 5 of Rick's like actual like, you know, prominent characters to the series just in this little battle. I mean, it's a TV show. It's not supposed to be 100%, you know, everyone's gonna die no matter what. No, I mean, a few people were shot. Rick was shot. Rosita was shot. And if you saw, there's tons of Alexandrians dead. I think there was a few Hilltop members who were shot and killed too. But, and Sasha, of course, died, but she killed herself before the battle even started. But just saying that they even let him die. He says not even one walker showed up with all that noise. You don't know that. There could have been tons of walkers outside the walls when they after the battle. I mean, of course they didn't show it, but there could have been tons. I mean, there really, really could have. You don't know. I mean, I'm sure tons of walkers showed up after. I mean, there probably wasn't any walkers around the area at the moment because they do clearing around the Alexandria. They do perimeter checks and such on different days, kill any walkers around the area just to keep it clear of walkers, to keep the area clear. I'm sure some walkers showed up after the battle. I mean, they're not going to show up in 2 seconds. They're not fucking Speedy Gonzalez's. They don't show up in 2 seconds. So that argument is complete bullshit. And he says, not even while walkers showed. And how did the tiger know who was the enemy and who was not? Now, this one's something a lot of people say. And I don't know why people say it, because it's happened in the comics and no one said anything about it in the comics. They're like, oh, how dope in the comics. And then it happens in the show and they're like, what the fuck is this crap? And it happens in so many TVs and movies when there's like a dog, or an animal or something that attacks the enemy, doesn't attack teammates. And it's pretty obvious. So first of all, the tiger is trained. It's not stupid. It's not like one of those random wilderness tigers. This tiger has been trained. A lot of people who don't know the backstory of Ezekiel say this kind of stuff, but he has been this tiger forever. He can almost, tigers are smarter than you think. They are very, very, very smart animals, and they know who's sensed as the person who is, not good, and who is the person who is, good. And of course, the people from the kingdom, she's not going to attack the people from the kingdom because he's met those people. He knows his people. He's not going to attack them. Hilltop people, I'm sure he's met before. At least a decent amount of them. I mean, we haven't seen them meet, but I'm sure they have before a few times. Alexandrians, not all of them met the tiger, but a few of them did. And tigers are smart. They smell anything, and they remember you. They will not attack you unless you're a completely new fucker. And we didn't see it happen, but I'm sure Ezekiel, points them out or something like that and says, go that way, attack the people that way, or something like that. I'm sure the tiger does something like that. They haven't shown it, but just infer, instead of just saying it's bad writing automatically, why don't you infer a little bit, beforehand, before making these claims, and just think, okay, how would this tiger do this? Maybe it's trained with Ezekiel. Just fucking, that's all you gotta do, is just think of that, and that's all you gotta do. And people are like, oh, it should have attacked Negan. Okay, the tiger's attacking anybody on the bad side. It's not gonna just definitely go for Negan automatically. You know what I mean? So, and he says letting a tiger loose is not a good idea, and it saved their lives. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Shows become so much predictable. Now, I kind of agree with that it has become very, very predictable. And that is not anything to do with the show's writing or the show, how it's made. It has to do with the fact that they're following the comics so closely. And I want them to follow the comics closely because I love the comics. So I don't mind it being predictable. But it does take away from some things because it makes it so predictable and some specific points, we kind of know what's coming before it even happens. Of course, sometimes they change around and stuff, what characters happens to, stuff like that, but it's still pretty predictable. And spoilers, there's too many spoilers out there. It was spoiled that Sasha was going to die weeks before it even happened, so spoilers get spread around, and then people start predicting it and acting like they're predictions, but they're actually not predictions. They're actually completely spoilers. But yeah, so then he says they want to show Negan as the evilest monster of TV history, and at the same time, every person tries to kill him, he spares. He spares people because he loves them. He loves badass people who try to kill him. He doesn't want to kill the baddest people. He wants to kill the people who are weak, and he wants to torture the people who try to kill him. He doesn't want to, kill them because he thinks that's too easy. He wants to kill their friends, like Daryl, punch him in the face, which I wouldn't say it's trying to kill him, but I guess people say that. I don't know. He wanted to kill one of Daryl's friends and then torture Daryl, have him sitting naked in a room and put a picture of his own friend's bashed-in brain right next to him. He wanted to fuck with him. Carl, he didn't really fuck too much with Carl because he liked Carl. Carl's a kid. He's badass. Rosita, he took one of his friends, made him, work with Negan. And Sasha, he was forcing Sasha to basically stay with him and work for him. So, and finally, when he was going to kill Carl, Maggie and Carol appear from nowhere, and yeah, why is it such a big deal that they appear the nick of time? That happens all the time in TVs and movies, and it's something that's just all the time. Obviously, it's pretty unrealistic, but who the fuck cares? It's for a TV show purpose. It's not real life. Okay, if it was 100% realistic, this show, it would be boring. I'm telling you that. It would be boring because Rick would be dead by season 2. If it was 100% realistic, I don't even think Rick would have gotten out of the coma alive, to be 100% honest. So, I don't know. And Negan has his guard down in his truck and aiming. His arm is sticking out for everyone to shoot, and not a single one of those 50 people shooting the truck even come close. Very bad writing. I don't know how that's bad writing. That's fucking... Why would they just have... this is making me mad. What's it called? So, his hand's pretty skinny, okay? It's from a distance. Not 50 people were shooting at him. Maybe 10 people were shooting at the truck. And they weren't shooting at him. They were shooting at the wheels to try to bust it open. But obviously, it was an army truck, so it's not going to break easily. So they weren't even trying to shoot at his hand, and yeah, it was just, who fucking cares? I mean, honestly, I don't know. And then they say it's the most, and then he says it was an average, most boring and forgettable episode. He said it's average, but he gave the episode a 1-star rating, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, so that's the first one, and that guy was pretty retarded, just right off the bat. And let's get to the next one. Alright, so next up, we have a really, really dumb one, and this is gonna be annoying. Kind of, this one almost seems like a troll almost, but I don't know. So this guy says, "The Walking Dead are not walking anymore. They are rolling around, headless and aimless. Who do they think we are? I mean, do the producers of this dumb really think that we will continue to love a series when it has no purpose anymore and no final objective?" So people say that all the time. They say they don't like the show because it doesn't have any final goal, doesn't have any final objective. I don't see why people want a final objective or final goal. Like, why would you want that? See, shows that do that, which a lot of shows don't do that, trust me. I don't know why this guy thinks all shows do that, apparently. Shows don't have a final objective and then go through seasons and seasons and seasons trying to get this objective. That is boring. You do not want one final objective, just that's it. No, the show has plenty of objectives, plenty of goals, of things characters trying to achieve as time goes on. New ones come, and old goals end. They either solve them or don't solve them, depending on how it works. And there's no final 100% objective. The final overall objective of the show is survival. That is the 100%. The theme of the show is survival and dealing with other people in this world that has changed everybody because of death and stuff of that sort. And that's the whole theme around it. It is not supposed to be a final objective to the show. So, I don't know. And then he says, as another X-fan has already said, this might be the worst episode of history of TV. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, okay, you might not like this episode, whatever, tell me that, I don't care. To say it's the worst episode in TV history, including every TV show there's ever been, and you're saying this is the worst one? What? It's not even in the top 50 worst episodes of The Walking Dead, and you think it's going to be the worst episode of any show out there? Is this guy fucking high? I don't know. It is opinion, but like that is the worst opinion I've ever fucking heard in my entire life. I mean, so he says, except for its first episode, the whole 7th season has been endless flashbacks and meaningless blah blah blahs. Flashbacks? Endless flashbacks. We've had flashbacks in episode 1, which is the episode you said except for, so apparently you're just excluding the one episode that actually had flashbacks. And we had flashbacks in the 16th episode. That's it. Endless flashbacks? What the fuck are you talking about? And then meaningless blah blah blahs. So that means by meaningless dialogue. No dialogue they ever do in the show is meaningless. It always has a purpose to develop a character, develop a plot, develop a story in some way. Sometimes the dialogue might not be exactly how I wanted it to be. It might not be exactly how I wanted it, think it should go. Doesn't mean it's trash. Doesn't mean it's bad writing. Doesn't mean it's terrible dialogue and meaningless. No, it has purpose. Everything this show does has purpose. Heroes were uselessly humiliated. Villains were dumb as, oh yes, Negan hasn't killed Rick because he wanted to show that he was better than him. Really? Heroes were uselessly humiliated. Do you want heroes to just be, always winning? That's boring. I don't want it to be a superhero show where the heroes always win. There has to be a specific time where the heroes are being, humiliated and over, overpowered by a bigger evil. And he says Negan hasn't killed Rick because he wanted to show him he was better than him. That is not the reason Negan doesn't kill Rick. Not at all. Negan doesn't kill Rick because he needs Rick to work for him, to get him supplies, to continue keep that community together, because he's the leader of the community. Obviously, he's not going to kill him. That's why he hasn't killed Rick yet. He might take his hand, he might do something like that, but he's not going to kill him. He knows he needs to keep that community in order so they can supply for him. But now that he started war, I think Negan's okay with killing Rick at this point. But at the same time, I don't think he is, honestly. He really wants to keep him alive just so he can get him to work for him. That's Negan's plan. And it's kind of a smart thing, kind of a dumb thing at the same time. But that's all Negan. Just because he makes dumb decisions does not mean it's bad writing. So, yeah. Why, oh why did you insult our intelligence this way? And after a very frustrating season where nothing happens, we come back to the same situation. Least the cliffhanger of the last season. Come on, who are you trying to cheat? What do you mean nothing happened last season? I don't know. Season 6 had so much shit happening. I mean, I can go through 30,000 things that happened, but I don't know. This has got to be a troll. I mean, I can't even take this seriously. The Walking Dead has been for quite some time a very good series, but thanks to very bad scenarios, or scenarists and producers, this success is not more than a pound of dead and rotten meat. I don't care anymore for The Walking Dead. I have been tricked one time to watch this nonsense. It's over. Rip or rotten hell The Walking Dead. I won't shed a tear. Man, why are you even bothering watching it if you are fucking gonna complain about everything? I mean, this has gotta be troll. I'm believing this is a troll because I can't even believe that person would think that that's in any way, shape, or form true. So let me just move on. Let me look at some other ones. This person, nah, that one looks bad. The worst series out of all season 7. Let's read this one. Oh, this is a long one. This is a long ass one. Might be 2 parts to this video because there's a lot of bad reviews for this episode. Alright. Where to start? This is what the guy says. Where to start? This series started so strong, or this season, I think he means. Negan seemed really scary, better than the governor, but as the series progressed, I ended up disliking him because he was unbelievably boring. His lair, if you would call that, was underwhelming. What the hell do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like the Joker's lair or something? Do you want it to be the fucking Mr. Freeze's lair? Do you want it to be all cool with like guards and stuff? It's a fucking apocalyptic show. It's an apocalyptic world. Obviously, it's not going to be the coolest place ever, and it is pretty cool. It's a fucking factory, man. I don't know. It's pretty cool in my opinion. They painted the saviors as this vast group with fingers in every pie. Yet he bribed the Cabbage Patch, the fucking garbage people to turn on Rick in the final episode. What? Why is that bad? He didn't bribe those people. Those people bribed him, if anything. They said they would supply for him or they would help him if they give him some supplies and stuff. Which, if that was Negan, I would go with that. I mean, more people, the better, right? And Negan, you're saying he's boring. So, I mean, that's your opinion, I guess. But a lot of other people love Negan. So, let's put it at that. So, this whole series was just setting up to kill Negan. This season was just setting up to kill Negan. It made no sense at this point. Got so confusing. Comes in and randomly kills someone out of nowhere, to be honest. You don't care about them. Spencer is the best example. Added nothing to the story. Are you fucking kidding me? Alright, they're not setting up to kill Negan. I don't know. This guy obviously is not a comic book reader. You could tell that. They're not setting up to kill Negan. That's not what they're setting up to do. They're setting up for this big war that's going to happen. And he comes in and randomly kills someone out of nowhere that you don't care about. A lot of people care about Glenn and Abraham. A lot of people care about Spencer and Olivia. A lot of people care about, all those characters he killed. But I guess you don't care. That's fine with you. And just because you don't care about him doesn't mean people in a show don't care about him. Spencer, they killed off. He says add nothing to the story. Just because it doesn't affect you does not mean it affected other people in other characters in the show. That's what matters. Like when Ben got killed by the one guy, obviously we didn't really care much about Ben. He's just a random character. No one really cares that much. But it affected Morgan. And since it affected Morgan, it affected the story. Killing Spencer affected the story. Killing Olivia affected the story because other Alexandrians cared about them. You gotta realize that, man. You gotta realize that. I just remembered, apparently the head of Hilltop, can't remember his name. He's dead in the last episode. Did he die in the... I can't remember. Also, Maggie's daughter seems to be born at the age of 2 or 3. Well done to the kid. What the What? Wait. Am I reading this right? I can't be reading this right. This guy has to be smoking some massive marijuana. I don't know. What the hell is this guy talking about? He says, okay, he doesn't know the Hilltop's name, and he says he died in the last episode. What? What do you mean he died in the last episode? That doesn't even make any sense. See, all the haters are just mindless at this point. They're brained dead. I don't know. Also, Maggie's daughter seems to be born at the age of 2 or 3. What? Maggie's daughter? Where do you see Maggie's daughter? What? What? Maggie's daughter? What? I don't know, man. I just don't know. I think maybe he thinks Judith's Maggie's daughter. Oh, yeah, because Judith was in Hilltop in this episode. That's not Maggie's daughter, dude. If you think it's fucking Maggie's daughter... Alright, you know what? This guy's retarded. The whole season was missing a good story. I can't even take this guy seriously anymore because he just actually said the most stupidest things ever. The whole season was missing a good story with and 2 other things, Abraham and Glenn. With Glenn out of The Walking Dead, you can clearly see a huge gap in the story. Glenn and Abraham are by far the strongest driven characters. I would say Michonne is also a strong character, but what the hell did they do to her in this? Her dialogue is so bad, to become a poor and boring character completely ruined her. What dialogue from Michonne has been bad? I don't know. That gap that Abraham filled was when Tyrese died. I loved him. He was lovable. Just a tank. Just because your favorite characters died does not mean the series went to shit. Just because the characters you cared about the most, that should make you like the story even more. Because, wait a minute. This guy said Negan comes in and kills people out of nowhere that no one cares about, and now he's telling me that Glenn and Abraham are the most lovable characters. I don't know. Rick, sick of Rick now. In the past, he would have a roller coaster of emotions. Now he just seems monotoned, same emotion. I don't know. Apparently this guy does not watch the show because he does not see exactly what happens. Sorry if this review is poorly written. I've given up all hope, so I don't want to waste my time watching the series. So the final episode, this never deserved a cliffhanger ending. There was no cliffhanger ending, so I don't know what he's talking about. Negan sends over an army and says, let's go to war. No feeling. I was hoping for something similar to the Governor in Season 5, where it cuts to him being dead. What? First of all, Governor was not in Season 5. Second of all, they didn't have a cliffhanger where they cut to Governor being dead, but okay. Even if it showed Negan running away in panic, that would have made a better ending. He doesn't deserve a second season. The story has no feeling, no emotion, just a bland tiger. And the kingdom is so cringy. The whole making himself because he's a king is stupid. The tiger is also... This guy's a troll. I can't do it, man. I can't. Honestly, I can't. I can't read that guy anymore. He's retarded. Alright, there's a lot more bad reviews here. Maybe I'll make a second part to this because there's so much to do, and I don't want to make this video 8 times long. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.